Night's game, and we look back at the Sunday nighter in Arrowhead, a back-and-forth affair. It's 20-17. I don't know how Hollywood Brown finds this much open real estate in a place where typically even the sliver of an opening is hard to find. That was his second touchdown of the game. Ryan Branch not in the move to dap up Patrick Mahomes afterwards. Then, as we know, things escalated with he and Juju Smith-Schuster. I think that dates back to a block in the back, which we can get to in a bit. But then it got ugly. These are two really good teams. You fight hard between the lines for 60 minutes, and sometimes it spills over. And now there's a suspension for Branch that Adam Schefter shared with us at the beginning of this show. It's Kansas City's second game of the season with at least 30 points, which matches the total from all of last year. Both games have come since Xavier Worthy returned to the lineup. I say that in advance of reminding you Rashee Rice has served his suspension and is back, so we'll have the full complement available with the Raiders coming to town. So the Chiefs are able to take that 13 penalty debacle on Monday in Jacksonville, put it behind them. They weren't called for any penalties last night, but the run game, Jason, what did they start to do well that you liked?
Yeah, I mean, they got it going. They've struggled to run the football to date this season, and the big reason that offense is flourished the last couple weeks is the big plays down the field. Tyquan Thornton, Xavier Worthy on the end arounds, but they got back to just good old-fashioned smash-mouth football this last game. They started off with a nice split zone here, right? Tight end going to whack back and crack the backside end man on the line of scrimmage. Going to get a little bounce back action from Isaiah Pacheco running for the first. This next play, nothing fancy about this. Just a two tight end set, solo I formation or solo single back formation, and they're going to run zone right down the valley, right here. He's going to come, he's going to push that front side double team, and this is where wins happen front side, championships happen on the backside. Right backside block right there by the backside tackle. Right. And then we're going to see a little creative side. Now they're all of a sudden going to use little Juju Smith-Schuster. They're in the I formation, strong offset. And they're going to use Juju to come back and be the tight end whacking back. That's a unique piece, Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm sure they're happy to have him back in Kansas City. And Pacheco was back to running hard. These guys, they weren't coming after him. They knew it was going to be a bully game brought to them by Detroit, and they attacked the bully with a bully action.
And what I love about those run plays really quick, Scott, was the first two were quarterback under center, right? And we haven't seen that as much from the Kansas City Chiefs as you like to see it. That's smash mouth football. And now the next step after that's going to be the play action pass to Rashee Rice, to Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton as this team goes along in this season.
All I was going to ask you both is how much of establishing that run, which they really hadn't, is committing to trying to do it?
That's a big part of it, for sure. That's a big part of it, and they knew they wanted to keep Detroit off the field. They knew they wanted to get the run established early if they were going to have hope in this game. And I just love the overall game plan of it. And like Ryan just said, this is going to open up so many things down the road for these guys. They got Rashee coming back. He's going to be in the lineup. They had shown the explosive ability down the field. If they can do this as well, this offense is going to be clicking as good as anybody.
Honestly, though, what I like the attitude that Kansas City is playing with. Sometimes when you're on top for so long, like, you forget what it feels like to be gritty, right? Like, you forget what it's like to have to get in people's face and be like, hey, man, we bout that too. It's not all Andy Reid. It's not all the creativity we have on offense. And I think one thing that's being missed about the postgame, Brian Branch was walking past Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes held his hand out. And at one point, as Brian Branch walked past him, he made sure he touched him. He was like, yeah, you're not finna leave me hanging. This team is showing a level of toughness that we haven't had to see from them in the way that they play and in the way that they behave, and I love it.
In terms of creativity of play calls, Detroit has been spectacular only his last couple of years. You and I were on the set a couple of years ago on a Saturday night when they went down to Dallas, and it was a reporting issue, right? The offensive lineman was eligible, and that was a bit of a mess that, Dallas and, that Detroit and the NFL had to kind of figure out. Last night they get called for a penalty on a play that's very fun to watch, and it's a touchdown where Goff ends up going out and catching a pass from David Montgomery. Ultimately, whose job is it, fellas, to make sure that the creative stuff that you're running has been vetted, that it's legal?
Well, normally there's one person that's assigned to letting you know what all of those rules are. But the thing about a trick play is there's normally something in that play that you're doing that's breaking some sort of rule, whether it's some sort of unwritten rule of offense or there's a rule and a legality that you have to abide by in order to run that play. And in that instance, Jared Goff had to stop and reset before he had an opportunity to snap the ball and David Montgomery throw it to him, and he didn't do that.
What did you experience in Philadelphia? You were telling me a story about like you were confused about exactly what the rule
Honestly,
was.
it was the exact same thing. We had a trick play where the quarterback was going to lead from being under center out wide, and the rule, we thought the rule was the quarterback had to have his hands underneath. And afterwards, we found out that just being set back there and positioning yourself, even if your hands don't go underneath, you still, once you motion, have to reset. There's a guy in Philly, John Frye. I got to shout out John. He never gets any love in Philly.
Good man.
And that's his sole job, is to really know the rule book, know all these things, and anything that we're installing during the week to make sure everything is above board. And listen, like Brian said, you're pushing the limits of boundaries. This is what you're trying to do. You're trying to catch them off guard. It worked. Yeah. The problem is they caught themselves off guard by running an illegal play.
Understood. And we will see Detroit next week for Monday Night Football as they welcome the NFC leaders in for the moment anyway, the 5-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Part of a doubleheader next week, a true doubleheader. Second game coming from out west, the Texans against the Seahawks. As for Tampa Bay, Adam, Baker Mayfield continues to play well with whomever he has at his disposal in terms of wide receivers, but who might he have or might not he have next week to throw the football to?
Well, let's start out with who he won't have next week. He won't have his running back, Bucky Irving.
Okay.
He won't have Chris Godwin. He won't have Emeka Ibuka, who is scheduled to undergo testing on Tuesday to determine how long he'll miss with his hamstring injury that he left the game with yesterday. Now, they are hopeful that Mike Evans will be able to come back. And if he can't, then they'll rely on Johnson & Johnson. Cameron Johnson, Hez Johnson, who lit it up yesterday and scored touchdowns. A lot of people probably never heard of them, and Baker's finding them for touchdowns and continuing his MVP run. On the flip side, the Detroit Lions just lost Brian Branch. Their safety suspended one game for his part in that skirmish last night against the Chiefs. They're already without their starting cornerbacks, DJ Reed and Terrion Arnold. They've got injuries to Kirby Joseph, other defensive backs. They are really hit hard in the secondary right now, and the loss of Branch makes it that much worse against Tampa.
And it's the all cold tub game.
Yeah,
God,
that's MVP Tez Johnson. Remember that. He thought they were chanting MVP. He's like, I haven't done anything this year. Like, no, they're chanting for
Exactly. That's why they ain't chanting for you.
Yeah.
They're chanting for Bake. That'll be a great one next week. A couple of excellent games tonight. Bijan, I swear, he said them both. I just call him as good a running back as there is in the National Football League. Monday Night Countdown continues. We are presented by ESPN Bet. Countdown presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Here in New York City to discuss them alongside Ryan Clark, Jason Kelce, and Adam Schefter. Are you breaking news?
Yes, Brian Branch suspended one game without pay. Monday night's game, he's out.
Oh, wow.
Bang, right out of the gate, breaking news. But you're thinking yourself, wait, where's Swag? Swag is at home battling the flu. Swag, we love you. Get your rest, drink your fluids. You might not be even awake at this moment to receive this greeting from us to you, but we're thinking of you, buddy. Come back, and we're going to... Adam, stop breaking news so you can participate on the show.
Okay, you got it.
That is Adam participating in